We need to prepare for the consequences of climate change. If we don't, the impact of flooding or drought will be serious. We've seen that already, also in the North Sea region. That's why we've been working together for the last 4 years on soil and groundwater issues in the Interreg TOPSOIL project.
Well, due to climate change, we have increasing or changed patterns in groundwater levels. So sometimes we experience more groundwater and sometimes less. And that's due to climate change. We need knowledge. We need knowledge to better understand the geology and hydrology beneath our feet, because it's very dark down there. We need that because we know that the structures are important to know where the groundwater levels will rise and where they will be lower. Groundwater levels can be managed by, for example, by infiltration, or it can be managed by pumping, it can be managed by drainage. So we have techniques to manage the groundwater.
Farmers, for example, are important stakeholders. They are already feeling the pressure of climate change. It's not only about extreme weather conditions, but also about the impact on water quality.
The goal is that the residual nitrogen content in soil should be below 35 kg in autumn.
And so that you will have less nitrate in groundwater.
Yes,
that's all about.
That's the main point. And because nitrate in groundwater is too high, even in the water protection areas. And so this is closely connected to the practice of the agriculture of the farmers. And we know that in times of climate change, it will be the situation will get even worse, so that we have to test new methods before it's getting so bad.
You have more extreme rainfall and in shorter periods, so more nitrate will leach to the groundwater. And you have more drier periods, so crops won't uptake the manure, the nitrate that's put on the fields, so it will go down to groundwater or leach to surface water.
We have 4 farmers now engaged in the project, and they are making better practice on their farms, and they get paid whether or not they have reached the goals on which they agreed before.
So, knowledge of the soil is important, but involvement of stakeholders is certainly as important. We need to raise awareness on all levels: farmers, NGOs, regional governments, and so on.
Well, my role has been to lead the work package on stakeholder involvement. We always from the start saw that stakeholder involvement is absolutely crucial in topsoil. It's a societal challenge. Mitigating climate change is a societal challenge. Society's got to be involved. That's all stakeholders, all sectors, from NGOs. But it's not easy, is it, Steve?
No, it's true. I am in charge of the communication work package, and I think one of the biggest challenges we had was that not all of the stakeholders are actually convinced of both the problem and the solution you're offering.
Yeah. And it also depends on your perspective, because for us, we're an NGO, and we'd be perceived as a stakeholder from a government agency like yourselves, but yet we also want to get involved with the government agencies as a stakeholder in our pilot projects.
Well, yeah, and as a government, the perception might be that you're there to regulate them, which is not always the case. You're just like seeking cooperation.
Yeah.
But yeah, it takes some time to build up trust.
Yeah.
We need trust. But we only can build trust on more information. We need to know how it is below the surface. That's why we've developed and tested new techniques to look underground.
Our group from Aarhus University developed the helicopter-borne method SkyTem, which is capable of mapping the soil structures down to several hundred meters of depth.
And we used this wonderful system to map our freshwater lenses in a coastal area, which is mainly saline.
So Dieter, what do you use these data for?
We use this data to manage our freshwater reserve for the future, because they predict more and more drought under climate change. And this information gives us an idea from where we can use surface water to infiltrate in our freshwater lenses, which allows to grow our freshwater lenses and gives us some reserve for these drought periods.
By working together, we have made great progress in learning how to face the challenges of climate change. Building on what we've already learned, we are going to tackle the increasing imbalance in water availability together.